So, hey guys, this is Jokes, and welcome once again to Film Scene. And today I have Sam. Sam, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Sam. I live in Auckland, New Zealand. I've been an extra for about 6 years, and more recently, I've been moving into the acting realm. Did my first couple of featured parts not too long ago, and they're still in post production, but waiting for them to come out. And yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really cool. So, Sam, today I wanted to talk about like the most popular topic I think in the industry right now is like
hmm
effects of AI on the industry. So, what do you think? How is AI like affecting creativity, not just like for actors, maybe even for writers and crew people?
well, I think that for writers, it's helping them express their ideas a little bit better because the large language models are very good at helping them articulate what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Um, I think for artists, it's probably there's it takes a little bit of the acting out of it so much. Like you don't have to worry about stunts and so on and so forth because they can put all of that stuff into it. You just have to show the basic movements. At the same time, I think it can be a problem for the more talented and trained actors who are trained in stunts and so on and so forth because um, special effects and so on is kind of
Mm.
superseding the ability, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, but it's I think it's as much a positive as it is a negative, to be honest.
So so you said like there are some positive aspects. So you said like you spoke about stunts as well. So do you think like the stunts that are created, I think generated using AI are equally realistic in like when they come on screen, are they like equally realistic looking when they are presented, or do you think like the natural like human beings performing stunts that looks much better? How does that change?
I think they can be. It's more how the actor performs the basic movements that they'll then turn into the stunt. And then it's a lot in the hands of post production and how good they are at their jobs.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, so I also like see I have also like seen some ads, where they have like AI actors actually selling their products. What are your thoughts on that? Like sometimes it just seems very mechanical. Do you think this model is sustainable or just like something that's gonna cause more problems in the future?
I think it's good for productions because it makes their overall production costs cheaper. But I think it's bad for actors because it essentially writes them out of the game. And
Mm,
at the moment, like you said, it is a little bit mechanical looking and so on and so forth. But as AI gets better, so
mm.
will that sort of stuff. But my personal belief is that I don't think that computer models and so on and so forth should be superseding real people because then it takes the real people out of jobs. And as an actor, I don't want to be without a job.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think like for an actor, the creativity comes from within, like from your own
Yes.
personal experiences and real life stuff. So I am not like 100% convinced that AI will actually be able to capture all those elements. So,
Mm-mm-mm.
the emotional depths and stuff like that. So yeah, so basically, for now, I'm like, because I'm also an actor and a director, so I'm like, okay, maybe this is not the best option, but yeah, there's more like CGI and stuff, which might be helpful if used properly, don't you think?
I think so. Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So like, I think there has to be a limit. And also I know like, some people are talking about AI replacing writers. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, again, that's taking people out of the works, and I don't really believe in a computer taking the place of a person, assisting a person and helping them with their, I'd say, articulate edge potentially, but to take people out of the thought process kind of removes the whole humanity of the industry, and I think that we need to hold on to that as best we can.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. Because I do know, like, I have had some films, I've seen some films that people claim like they probably have used AI scripts, and those scripts, like, I don't think they make complete sense because it's very robotic. So I also did an
Mm-mm.
experiment. I actually tried generating a script using AI, and it was very robotic and repetitive, and it just doesn't capture the essence of the story. So you said like AI can be a good assistant. Would you like to like elaborate a bit more on that?
Well, I mean, because not everybody's amazing at their language of choice, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it definitely helps them get their ideas onto paper. But when you allow it to take over, then, like you said, it becomes repetitive and it becomes mechanical. It lacks that human aspect. And
Mm.
so using it as an aid to, say, edit, add punctuation, maybe even add some depth words into what you're trying to say. But I think originally what needs to be said needs to come from a person.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's completely true. Because I was meeting with another actor director who spoke about like writing their scripts from drawing from real life. So I think that's what
Mm-mm,
AI definitely lacks, because whatever AI has is kind of fed into it by humans, and
mm-hmm,
it just lacks that experience that we have of a real word. So sometimes when I tried to generate the script, I was like, okay, I don't think any human being actually talks like that in real life. Like those are like
mm-mm,
really big and flowery and like mechanical sentences. So yeah, so definitely agree with the fact that AI might be a good assistant, especially for people who need help with like say punctuations or some grammatical stuff. But I think there's a lot of people overly relying on AI to like do everything.
mm-mm,
I really don't think like that's the best thing, because yeah, if you just punch out a script using AI and just perform it, I've seen a lot of movies flounder because they have like terrible storylines, and a lot of people are accusing these films of using AI scripts, right? So yeah,
mm-hmm.
so yeah, tell me more about like your opinions about AI actors as well. I'd love to hear those.
I think that AI could be used for costuming and overlays and so on, but I think the movement itself needs to come from a person, because you can't teach a computer to move how a person does. Like anybody who's played video games can clearly see that, computers they have a subset or a scripted movement, whereas a person can add their own feel to the way a movement's meant to go. And I think that, like I said, costuming, like you could strip away the clothing of a person and add a uniform or something over the top, but you still need that person to be there making human movements in order for it to look effective.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. No, I completely agree with that because yeah, I have like I said, I've seen a lot of people again do those AI actors, and personally I don't connect with them. And I think like that's an important part of the film or any creative project, is like the audience being able to connect with the actor, and AI just cannot achieve that, and it just feels
Mm-mm,
more like robotic. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I think like there are some good uses that we can use the technology to help us achieve better results. But yeah, I think not completely rely on it to make films, because yeah, I
mm-mm,
have also seen some like really bad VFX and stuff where the makeup, just VFX makeup, like if it's created by CGI or something, it just doesn't look convincing enough. Like especially I'm
mm-hmm,
in some films, I'm not a big fan of CGI blood. What do you think about that?
mm-mm. Um, yes, I'm definitely. It also, like, the problem with CGI is that it makes the impossible possible. And if you don't do that correctly, I guess you could say, then it just it anybody watching it is just going to be like, wow, that's never. that can't happen. It doesn't matter how strong that person is; he's never going to be able to do that, or what? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
if it's the storyline, then I see where it can fit in. But if the storyline is still to make it somewhat believable, then to have completely CGI stunts and things like that makes it completely unbelievable all over again.
Yeah, it just looks really fake, like sometimes when I'm
Mm-mm,
watching, I'm thinking, oh, like even cartoons look more realistic than this. And
mm-mm,
yeah, like there's no blood there. And I am like, if used properly, CGI blood might be like a good thing to like avoid the mess on the sets, like with real blood. I know that. But it's like, it just like over reliance is something that really bothers me, I think. Even
mm-mm.
like in the recent Snow White movies, they like actually use CGI dwarves, and I think like they were really, that was a disaster, don't you think?
It probably looks really cheap, like because you have this model laid in front of the background rather than a person who's actually there, where the colors match, kind of like my background here. I'm
Mhm.
overlaid over the top of it, and when you put in CGI characters, they look specifically like this, and it makes it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's hard for like the real actor to interact because the characters won't be there while they're filming. So I think it just
Mm-mm,
becomes really hard because a lot of people say, I've heard this as well, like acting is a lot of reacting. So when there's like two people going
mm-mm,
back and forth, that comes in naturally. But when you're just talking to like imaginary dwarfs, then it's very hard for you to like anticipate what they're going to do and react. So yeah, I think that was like probably going a bit overboard with AI, but yeah, no, I do agree that AI can be a good assistant. Like it can help you improve your quality of like say writing, give you useful tips, but I think there has to be a limit because nowadays I see AI is like everywhere. There's AI actors, people, and I'm like, this cannot absolutely capture the emotional depths of human beings. And I'm not just saying this because I'm an actor myself, but I'm also a director. And from a director's chair, when I look at it, I'm like, okay, this is not really doing what I want to do. And I
mm-hmm.
think acting is all about convincing your emotions and stuff like that, don't you think?
Very much so. It's definitely a
Yeah.
good point. And yeah, like you said, sometimes it just doesn't look right. And then you try and blend that into a scene that's real. All of a sudden, it looks like you're going from cartoon to real to cartoon and it just
Yeah.
screws up the whole production.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that this is a problem with a lot of productions nowadays, like especially in this year, like in 2025, I think there's a lot of productions who are like going a bit overboard with their use of AI. And yeah, it just I think destroys the experience, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but yeah, like I said, so what is like for you, what is too much AI? Like to what extent is the use of AI okay? And then where does it cross the line?
I think essentially, basically, when it's just one person sitting behind a computer, putting everything into the computer, and the computer spitting out the production. You need people involved.
Yes,
You
sir.
need, and it can't just be a few people. Like uh, a computer is never going to get the camera angles the way an experienced camera operator will. Even
Exactly.
the post production, AI is never going to be able to do post production as effectively as someone who has imagination can. And basically, you need humans in all departments of the film set, and AI maybe acting as an advisory to give maybe some ideas or some hints to how to do things better. But if as soon as it starts to take over, it's not convincing anymore.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I think it's like there has to be that line. It's a very
mm,
thin
mm,
line, I guess, but if you cross it, it just, yeah, and it personally for me, it does kill some sort of creativity because then the projects
mm,
and the lines start going just repetitive and monotonous and stuff like that. So,
mm,
so for those who are saying like maybe one day AI will replace actors and writers, that's absolutely not true because you cannot
mm, mm.
replace human creativity, and whatever
No,
creative aspects AI might have are fed into it by humans. So, you know what I mean. So I
I
think,
think so, definitely.
yeah, so I think as creatives and people from like film industry, we should be like very careful where we draw the line between the use of AI into productions and still keeping it grounded to reality. I know there's like a lot of aspects that help productions save budget, and I'm obviously for it because like production budgets are huge, and if you can save money, but while doing that, I think it's very important to also consider the fact that how realistic your film looks, don't you think?
It's prioritizing money over value, I guess you could say. And if you take the people out of it, you take the value out of it.
Yeah.
Whereas the CGI should be adding value by assisting the people rather than removing them from the part of the production.
Yeah, I think it just like there's a point where you're removing people. It just gets like you're just being lazy. You just want to create a production
Mm-mm,
that will make you money, but you don't have to spend too much money. But then
mm-hmm.
actually no one watches it, so you don't make money. So it's all a disaster, I think.
Exactly, I think so.
So I think like that's the biggest problem in the industry today. But I think we are a bunch of creative people with smart brains and we know what to do. So I think the industry will figure this problem out soon, and yeah, obviously
Mm-mm,
we'll be able to find that balance between using AI to help us and not going overboard with it and create like really good projects, like because technology is evolving, it will obviously help you. Like for example, I
mm,
know the show House of the Dragon, like they are creating so much using CGI, like dragons and stuff. Obviously, we can't have real dragons. So I think that's where technology is really helping, don't you think?
I think so. Well, yeah, like you said, like mythical creatures and so on and so forth. Yeah, of course, you're going to have to use computer generation to add them in, but um, if you take the characters out of it, then you kind of like I said before, you remove the value out of it, and you remove the human aspect of it. Like I watched a half CGI, half person film not long ago, and it looked like you were clipping in and out of a cartoon, and
Oh,
and
that
it just
sounds very
it,
good.
it no, well, it makes you all of a sudden you see the actor, and then it's the same general features of the person, but then it's a cartoon of
Oh,
him, and it's like it
oh,
doesn't work.
that's weird. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't
I
really
think so.
imagine how. Oh, good on you for actually watching it through. I don't know if I would be able to.
I
Uh,
didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched probably a good quarter of it, but it didn't take long until it started doing that, and I was like, I can't
oh,
watch this. This isn't,
yeah,
you know.
unwatchable, I guess.
Mm-mm-mm. So I mean, that person was obviously on a very low budget, and I can understand how they've got to get their ideas out and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's got to work.
Mm.
You know, I mean, it still has to. You can't have a person act through half of a movie and then replace him in the other half with a cartoon CGI figurine because it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine how that even looks, but yeah, I think that's
Mm,
probably like going overboard with the
mm,
use of AI. But yeah, and trust me, if it's an AI actor, you can tell. Like
yes,
people think like,
yes.
oh, it gets realistic, it's scary, but trust me, you can tell when the actors in
Mm,
AI. So yeah, no, well, thank you so much. It was really chatting to you about this and knowing your thoughts about the technology in the industry. But before
mm,
I let you go, like I do with all my guests, I'm gonna play a small game with you. So I have some ideas on my phone here, which I'm gonna read
mm,
out to you. So it's basically like fill in the blanks. feel like going back to
Okay.
school. But I'll just give you two scenarios and just
Mhm.
finish them for me with whatever idea comes to your mind. Like it can be anything. You good to go?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, in 2035, movies will be watched on.
Uh, Probably phones or tablets.
Yeah, I see that happening. Definitely. Okay, in 2050, actors will rehearse using.
Probably the same thing. I mean, I don't think you'll ever get rid of the paper script because but at
Definitely.
the same time, with a tablet and stuff, you can still sort of scribble over the top of the script and put your own little action script in with it. But it really all depends on the production, I guess. But probably back to tablets and phones again because then you can send someone a script and he can pull it out, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, personally, for me, I always prefer paper over tablets and stuff.
Mm-mm.
I've never there's just like one circumstance where I forgot to print the script and I used a script on my phone and it was like a disaster for me. Not gonna
Mm-mm. It's good having it physically in your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a different sort of a feel. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, but that was amazing. Thank you so much for coming on this podcast. It was really lovely talking to you. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. And I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, ta-da!